Greetings. This video is going to show you how to take your IEP notes and easily turn it into bodies of text that you can use in your IEP. So this is my meeting note page, which I've developed over the course of many IEP meetings. And it includes all of the areas that are required for a high school student. So if you're working at a lower level, you could actually remove this final part, which is transition and post-secondary planning. You could also remove the diploma and graduation plan. So what I do is every time I have an IEP meeting, I make a copy of this document, and there are some pieces that I fill in, such as right here it says current grades. I paste them in from the online gradebook. I paste in the most recent progress report on goals and objectives, and then I also paste in the learner-based needs from the evaluation summary so that I make sure everything lines up with the learner-based needs. As the meeting is going on, I just take very brief notes on each area, and I actually do not fill in the student's name or specific names of teachers, because what I then do is I take these exact notes and I use them to generate the present level of performance. So I leave it without identifying information because you never want to put any identifiable information into ChatGPT for data privacy. So as an example, I have filled out the notes. As you can see, I use student as the student's name, at least for now. And I note who was there, but I do not say their specific names because, again, you don't want any identifying information. I do not need to write complete sentences in the notes. I can keep it very brief, just one-word answers. So I've entered in like the strengths, the concerns, grades in classes, the brief feedback from each teacher. Now, if teachers are not present at the meeting, I have sent them a Google form to collect data. And what I want to know is what are the strengths, concerns, and accommodations used in each class. So I have noted those all in one place on this note-taking form. For the current goals, I don't paste them in completely. I just put the levels and the focus of each goal. And for the progress, I summarize that really briefly from the most recent progress report. And as you can see, it's all very brief notes. You could even ask a note taker to take notes for you as well. But the goal is to get everything filled in with just a couple of words. And this is all based on the team decisions during the IEP meeting. So what's beautiful about ChatGPT is now I can take all of this information and create the present level of performance. So I can highlight everything and copy. So once I've copied it by hitting Control C, I open ChatGPT. And usually I go to the one that's called OpenAI right here. And remember, you're only as good as your prompt. So the prompt that I have developed for writing the present level of performance is I say, write the following meeting notes in narrative paragraph form with no bolded words, bulleted lists, oops, if I could type, or numbered lists. So the reason I've put this is because I've learned that ChatGPT loves an outline. It wants to just turn it into another outline, but I don't want that. I want a narrative for the PLAF. So then I hit Control V to paste in my notes. I hit enter, and I I stay logged out. And as you can see, it is generating my PLAF. So it summarizes the background information in the parent perspective. It summarizes grades, progress. It summarizes the goals for the next IEP cycle, accommodations, and post-secondary plan. So basically this gave me a present level of performance statement. What I can then do, of course, is I can hit Control C. I can come over and I just use this same note sheet. In my district, it's called the PLAAFP. So that's the present level of achievement. And if I try to remember what that stands for right now, I will say it wrong. So I'm just going to go with that. And I can paste that in. So now I have my PLAF. Now I can, first of all, I don't like the font size. I can go in and I can hit Control F and look for where it says the student. Now, instead of the student, if I hit my 3 dots next to Control F, I can replace it with the student name. So that's one option. So I could say, imagine his name is Jimmy. I can type in Jimmy, I can replace all. And now instead of the students, I have Jimmy's accommodations will include. Now I'm able to read it over, make sure it's exactly the way that I want it, and I can paste it into the IEP. It's very, very important that I do not ever paste anything into the IEP with identifying information, but afterwards, like I said, you can do Control F, type, choose the 3 dots for more options, and that's where you can replace with the student's name. Another option that I really love that I do sometimes is after I have my PLAF in ChatGPT written up, it's also really great about working with the text that I've already given it. So I can say, write 3 IEP goals and objectives in the areas identified in these notes. 3 goals with 2 skill-based objectives each. And it will go ahead and write the goals and objectives for me. Now this time it looks like it wrote only objectives. So remember, if you don't like what it first gives you, I can say regenerate and write a goal for each area with a from to structure, because that's required in my district, and then add the objectives. Let's see how it does with that. So there we go. So it did a beautiful job with that. So it has, the student currently has 5 missing assignments per course. The student will reduce missing assignments to 3 or fewer. And then it has the objective. The student will independently use an organizational system. The student will apply time management strategies. Now, of course, you go through and you make sure it's exactly the way that you want them. I would need to add to this. It has as measured by monthly check-ins. I just would need to make sure that the measurement is there for each one. This one looks good as well. The student is demonstrating this baseline. The student will move to 75%. I also changed the percentages a lot based on what it's decided to enter. For example, I might want the student to move up more than 5%. But what I love about this is it gives me a baseline to work with and has cut so much time out of my IEP writing process. So now I would copy and paste that as well. And if you remember, I'll model that again. So it's the same process. So I copy, I'm going to paste it on the document where I'm working on the information. Paste. Oop, if it will copy for me. Oh, I can just hit the copy button. That's the problem. Right here I can paste. And then if you remember, Control F, I go to more options and I can replace the student once again with the student's name. So now I have my goals and objectives for Jimmy, and I would be able to paste that into whatever system we use to write our IEP. So that's basically how you go from meeting notes to this present level narrative, and you can add your goals and objectives. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that helps.